This is Eagle Owl, and today we got some breaking news. Bryce Huff was just traded to the 49ers, and guess what? We didn't have to eat too much cap. We're going to talk about it. We also going to talk about Jordan Davis. Yes, Jordan Davis looked like he's in shape. And lastly, the passing game is under attack. A lot of people saying that's the weakness of the Eagles. We're going to talk about that, but let's get straight into it. All right, man, no quick hits. We literally going to get straight into the meat and potatoes of this video. So let's start with the main topic. Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff is traded to the 49ers for a mid-round pick. You ask me what is that? I don't know. But I think this is the best situation for both teams. Look at it from actually let's start with Bryce Huff. Let's look at it from his perspective, right? He goes back to a team or he goes to a team. This is no knock. I'm not saying this to be funny, but he goes somewhere where as though he can be second fiddle. What do I mean by that? He came to the Eagles to quote unquote be the savior per se, because we didn't know what we was gonna get out of Nolan Smith. Josh Sweat just came off a iffy season, wasn't that great, especially the way he ended. And Bryce Huff was just coming off this wonderful season with the Jets. He got 10 plus sacks. He's hot. He's on his UDFA contract, and we was able to get him a good contract, a decent contract, whereas though he gets his money. Now he comes here. We like Bryce Huff. We don't know Hassan Reddick. I'm sorry, Hassan Reddick. We're replacing you, and Bryce Huff, you gotta be the guy. We signed you to be the guy. What happened? To me, he melted under pressure because even when he was with the Jets got so many guys. And Bryce Huff just always went under the radar, but then we start looking him up. You're like, oh, this dude can really rush the passer. So that's what we thought we was going to get. And unfortunately, we did not get that. Once he started playing the Vic Fangio scheme, you could tell Fangio wasn't a big fan of him. End up benching him. And to me, the last straw was he was healthy going to the Super Bowl. Eagles was like, nah, you're a healthy scratch. And I remember even his press conference, you know how they had the media there and they talked to everybody. And one of the clips I seen, I thought it was interesting. And if I could find it, I would play it. But he was asked like, why did you come to the Eagles? And he was straight up like, to be honest, it was about the money.
Richie from Roundtable Sports here with Bryce Huff. Bryce, walk me through it, man. How has this week been? You're in the Super Bowl representing the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, it's been a great week, great experience. Had the media day a few days ago. It was cool. Had a lot of fun with my guys, just going out to dinners and enjoying the area. And then practices and stuff is cool. Great weather down here, so it's been a good experience.
Can you walk me through the free agency process last year? Becoming an undrafted free agent by the New York Jets, you climbed the ranks to get paid the contract that you did. What was going through your mind entering free agency, and why did you end up choosing Philadelphia?
Honestly, going into free agency, I just want the biggest bag. At the end of the day, like, when you play for pennies on the dollar, coming in as an undrafted rookie, you don't get to sign a bonus. You're playing for rookie minimum. And I just kind of, like, I tried to provide more value than I was being paid back in New York. Like, I wanted to play like a $20 million guy. I wanted to play like one of the top guys in the league. And I feel like I did that, being the most efficient rusher in the league year after year while being in that scheme. So I just feel like I deserve to get a bag off of it. And
Well, you did. Congratulations for the bag, number one. But another question I have for you, what's the biggest differences you've learned being with the Jets for so many years and now you're with Philadelphia from a culture standpoint? What have you learned? What's the difference between the Jets and the Eagles?
I mean, I just told the last guy that interviewed me asked the same question. He was just like, what is your biggest difference between the two? And honestly, like, I was a part of a top defense in New York, so being part of a top defense here is pretty similar. Like, everybody's working hard, everybody's locked in, everybody's focused and doing what they can to put on a good game for the guy next to them. So I feel like in that regard, there's a lot of similarities because, like, on this defense, like, I'm working hard for my guys next to me, my guys are working hard for me, and we're just going to do what we can to help our team win.
Last question for you, Bryce. Any teammates that kind of took you underneath their wing? You came there as a big-time free agent. And was there anybody on the defense that you really were able to pick their brain in terms of, perfecting your craft?
Yeah, definitely BG. BG is a guy that's been in this league for a long time, and he started off at Philly as well. And he went through some rough times in Philly. And like I didn't have the best year this year, and I dealt through some adversity. And he was one of the main guys talking me through everything and making sure I was straight, and just making sure I had my head on right for every day, for practice, meetings, and media or whatever it may be. Like he was definitely a cornerstone for me this year.
Just one last follow-up. You mentioned this was a down year for you from your perspective. How do you deal with that adversity, and how can you use this as fuel to kind of have a bounce-back year in year number 2 with the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, I mean honestly, just keep doing what I've been doing, just working hard, and like praying to God that everything goes in my favor. And even if it doesn't, like I'm gonna keep working hard, controlling the controllables, and just putting my best film out there every Sunday.
Good luck, man. Rooting for you.
He signed for the money. That's it and that's all. Didn't do too much research on the city. Probably ain't do too much research on the role and what type of player we wanted him to be. And again, he's seen 17, 18 million. They offer me the most. That's what I'm gonna take. Now, that just didn't work out for him. It just did not work out for him because again, we asked you to be the guy. The Jets, you wasn't the main guy. Philly, getting paid all that money, you're the main guy. Show why we paid you that amount of money. Never showed it. Never showed it, man. He was a big disappointment. Now, was great for us that Nolan Smith came along. We drafted Jalen Hunt. He came along. Josh Sweat just took off. He did have a cold spurt, but playoffs, Josh Sweat was phenomenal. Watch the Super Bowl. There are debates out there that Josh Sweat could have possibly won, Super Bowl MVP, but Jalen Hurts did his thing. Again, man, Bryce Huff, he just wasn't it. He wasn't good enough to fit the system. He wasn't good enough to be the guy. Now he goes to the 49er where they got Bosa and all these other guys. He could go under the radar again. And he's not asked to be the guy. He don't have that much pressure, and that's what he thrives in. That's what it seemed like he thrives in. He thrives in not being in the spotlight, not really being the guy. So, I mean, that's a win for him. The other win for him is that he go under Robert Saleh. Now, could he just been good under that specific scheme? Possibly. You go to the defensive coordinator who was the head coach of the Jets that got you hot. You go to a winning culture in the 49ers. That's a win for you. Now, the win for the Eagles is that we got rid of Bryce Huff. It's no more pressure about, we got to get this guy on the field because he made this amount of money. Nope, that's not the pressure. Now that could just be off our books because we basically went half with the 49ers, according to Adam Schefter, right? So Adam Schefter said the Eagles will only take on 9.05 million of his salary. Then the other half will go to the 49ers, 7.95. So that's cool. I'm cool with that. Instead of us eating that 17 million or like 13, 14 million, basically going half, I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. So the Bryce Huff story ended pretty quick. And this was one of the rare misses that Howie Roseman made. But in that same season, you hit on Jalen Hunt. Nolan Smith came along. Again, Josh Sweat, the guy who signed for the cheap deal, hit. Like, it was a good year. And then, Milton Williams came along. Jordan Davis started doing this thing. Jalen Carter, all pro. What can I say? Zach Bond, like it was so many hits. We didn't care about Bryce Huff. We did not care. All we was worried about is like how we get this money off the books, and I think the Eagles did it the right way. Best of luck to Bryce Huff. Best of luck to Bryce Huff. Now let's talk about Jalen Hurts a little bit. So PFF saying that the passing attack, the weakest part of the Eagles game, to me, my personal opinion, I don't think the Eagles have like a weak part per se. Just run the ball because you got Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts who are dual threats. Because what we seen was when the running game was shut down in the Super Bowl, we did our thing. Now, this is what I don't like, and it's not really AJ fault. It's really Shady McCoy fault because now we got a new OC, and if there are struggles in the passing game because we're trying to do things a little different, a lot of people is going to attack Jalen Hurts and not the offensive coordinator because you know what they're going to say? Well, if this technically Jalen Hurts offense, according to A.J. Brown, Why is the passing game weak? I seen people go back when AJ Brown said, "Oh, the passing attack was was struggling in the offense." A lot of people like, "Oh, so that was Jalen Hurts. That wasn't Kellen Moore." Nah, I think the OC and the head coach play a lot of, parts into the offensive play calling, how things flow. So you can't put that all on Jalen Hurts. And to me, the passing game wasn't weak. The two games, just watch these two games, whereas though the running game wasn't working, and we had to throw the ball per se. You watch the Super Bowl, of course. Passing game was phenomenal. You watch the Steelers game, passing game phenomenal. If you want to watch a balanced Eagles game where everything was clicking, the passing game, the run game, the defense, special teams, go watch the NFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts had a good day. Saquon obviously had a good day. I think Devontae was fine that game. I know AJ went off. Like, yo, that game was like, if all cylinders hitting, this Eagles team is dangerous, like dangerous. So look, I'm not worried about the passing game. I know PFF saying what they're saying, but what I don't like about it is just what Shady said. Because again, there might be some struggles in the beginning. That's every team, and now they're gonna put the burden on Jalen Hurts. That's who they're using as the poster child of the passing game, or the lack of passing game for the Eagles is Jalen Hurts. But let's maneuver over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is looking like he's in shape, man. I seen a clip of him in OTAs. He was running a bit. I know Thomas Mott and Josh Davis even talked about it during a live stream. I caught it a little bit. And they were saying like, yo, I seen Jordan Davis in the hoodie. To be honest, he looked good. I know everybody say that every year. He's losing weight, this, that, and the third. But I think this year he's taking it serious because I believe he wants to be in Philly long term. I also believe that he wants to get paid. I know his option got picked up, but if Jordan Davis can be that athletic freak with the stamina that he can stay on the field for long periods of time, he's dangerous. He is dangerous. So Jordan Davis is a guy to watch for sure, and I hope he can take that next step. I really, really do, because Jordan Davis can be dangerous, very dangerous. But that's all I got for you guys today. And hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel? Bryce Huff is out of here. He's out of here, man. No more Bryce Huff again. Quick chapter. This guy get the ring over Hassan Reddick. I know y'all keep saying, why are you crying? Hassan Reddick was that guy in Philly. And, as the Jets fans, as Tampa fans right now, they saying something different. But in Philly, he was that guy. And this guy wasn't even a guy in Philly. He gets a ring. Also, Jordan Davis, beast. I mean, it was hard to describe. He's a beast. But my thing is, he got to be able to stay on the field. And Jalen Hurts being attacked for the passing game. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.